Hey YouTubers, Muskrat Jim here. Just got home from work and decided to take a hike out in the woods. There's a slightly marshy area where we sometimes get fiddlehead ferns. So I'm going to check that out and hopefully we'll get a bite to eat. Sure, you can hear all of those frogs. They're peepers. The funny thing is, as soon as we get close to the pond, they all shut up. This is the muskrat pond. All the muskrats live on the far side in the taller grass. Now these are not the ostrich ferns. You can see how hairy these are. Now I'm pretty sure these are called cinnamon ferns. And that's not because they're edible, but because the color of the fur is almost like cinnamon. Like all ferns, they're slightly toxic. I actually ate some of these several years ago. Didn't kill me, but it didn't make me really sick either, but I don't know, they tasted horrible. So I'm in no rush to eat them again. And a lot of ferns right here. They're all the fuzzy cinnamon ferns. Okay, so here's some of the ostrich ferns starting to pop up out of the foliage, the ground cover. As you can see, they're not hairy at all. They just have those scales on them. They're awful tiny. Here we have an example of horseshoe fungus growing on an old stump. This is also known as tinder fungus and razor strop fungus. You'll hold a spark and it'll burn very slowly with the spark, so you can ignite a piece, put it in a tin, and carry it to your next location. Around here, the forest floor is covered in the spring by these curled up leaves. And for the longest time I wondered what they were. So I watched them throughout their seasons. And what they are, like they spread out like this and they're really glossy on the top, they're Canada mayberries. And towards the late summer they'll produce little juicy red berries. And you can make jams and jellies out of those if you want to collect a million of them. But anyway, these leaves are also edible. Actually, the leaves are edible all year long. These are the Canada mayberry berries. And as you can see, they're really quite small. But sometimes they cling right through the winter. Inside there's a little tiny seed, and the berry is really quite juicy. See, it just bleeds all over you. A little sweet, a little sour, and they have these little tiny seeds. So there's very little fruit in that little red ball. Another early growth in the spring, breaking through the foliage from last year, are strawberry plants. Now the strawberries won't be ready on these for at least another month, but the leaves are edible and brewable into a tea. Another thing we have are the early greens of the dandelion. Now the younger leaves aren't as bitter as the older leaves. Personally, I really don't like them because I don't like the flavor. But in a survival scenario, you're going to eat what you can eat. Well, that wasn't a very productive forage today, although we did find a few interesting things. I think I'll go home now and raid the fridge. This is Muskrat Jim, signing out.